Welcome back, Commanders, to Elite Dangerous. And last week we joked about and talked with the computer about wanting to adjust our settings and whatnot. And I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do a video where I kind of go through my current control scheme and then like kind of evaluate it live with you guys so you can hear my thoughts and correct me when I'm wrong and give me advice, because I feel like I've been happy with my setup for the most part. But then we hit 3.3, chapter 4, and then I got VR, and like so many things have changed, and I haven't taken the time to sit down and just reevaluate everything. And I realized, why don't I do it in a video and get your feedback? So this video is more for the super nerds who wouldn't mind watching and hearing me rattle off and talk about all these settings and go through showing you guys how I have it set up with my joystick. I do love my joystick. This is the, well, we'll get to that in a second. But if you're not one of those people, it's okay. It's okay. You can skip, go to a different video, watch something else if you want. So if you're not willing to, I don't want to say like if you're not willing to help me, but if that doesn't interest you, we'll see you next week. But for those of you who wouldn't mind giving me input on how I should set this up, please watch. I would love it for you to watch. So let me go over what I have so you can see what's at my disposal. Obviously, what I do is I put my keyboard, what this is right here, this is my monitor stand that my keyboard sits up on. It makes it a little difficult to use it. I've tried putting it like, the joystick actually, it's almost like it's made to have this fit right here, but then the joystick's in like an uncomfortable place, although that actually doesn't feel that bad, to be honest. I may actually play like that. I may try that. It feels a little weird because the joysticks are so far forward, but for now, let me bring this back up here. So keyboard is there and accessible for the most part. For my joystick, I've got the Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS X. I really enjoy this HOTAS. I'd love to upgrade one day, but for now, this one serves me well. If you don't know what buttons it has, it's got. Where should I start? Let's start with the throttle. We've got a forward and back throttle. On the back side of the throttle, there is the left-right switch here. And then there's two buttons on this side, one bigger, one smaller. Then on the front side of it, there's three thumb buttons here and then a fourth one down here. And then down here, there's an SC and ST and a home. The home I don't think is a programmable button. The SE and ST are. Then on the joystick over here, we've got two buttons up top here with a control pad up, down, left, right sort of thing. And then two triggers here, one main, one secondary up here on top, which actually I don't really use the one on top. I just realized. Do I? Oh, that may be my target ahead. I don't know. And then there's a mapping and reset button over here that I'm pretty sure aren't programmable. So I wish I had a few more dongles to play with on this, but my mouse actually, which is my CyberPower PC mouse that came with my computer, I actually really like it. And my only complaint about it is my fingers are kind of heavy and the buttons are kind of light, so I often accidentally click. But anyways, got your standard left, right, scroll wheel with a click. The two middle things are just to up the change the sensitivity of the mouse. But on the side, I've got 1, 2, 3. This one's pointer, but 1, 2, 3. Is this a button? I can never remember if that's a button. I don't think that's a button. I got 3 thumb buttons and then an extra pointer button over here as well. So my mouse has quite a bit going on that I haven't tapped into yet. So I'm hoping as I talk through this, I look at something and go, oh, that's something I could give to my mouse to do. Obviously nothing in combat because I'm not using my mouse in combat. But for other things, it'd be neat if I could offload something here to my mouse. My brain is already thinking. So let's start going through these one by one. And I want to talk about everything. I don't think there's going to be much here to talk about. Show mouse widget. Show a widget that indicates that what the mouse is doing. No. I don't think there's really anything here for me to change. the mouse dead zone. Does that mean if I like accidentally hit it a little bit, it's not going to do anything? Well, but I have a button that I press on the mouse to enable it to move, so I guess that's not really an issue. But anyways, I don't think that really matters. Flight rotation, everything here is exactly as you would expect. The yaw, yeah, roll sensitivity. I'm just double checking. I don't think there's anything here to really mess with. I've got my roll pitch set up all just fine. I can't imagine there's anywhere else that I really need these things. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, there's no reason for me to have these assigned, right? That's for if I'm playing with mouse and keyboard, which I don't do. So I'm gonna get rid of those just in case I want to add them somewhere else. And I want to make sure I want to go ahead and just remove it if I'm not using it, so that I don't get a pop-up if I do assign something to it and then I think, wait, did I need that? Flight thrust, lateral thrust axis. Oh no, this is all assigned. Oh, here. Thrust left, thrust right. That is, up and down. Oh, I remember what this is now. This is the thumb. This is my thumb. That's my up, down, left, right. That makes sense to me. I can't think of anywhere else that should or could go, to be honest, because I'm needing that when I'm flying around. So that's going to stay. I'm assuming there's nothing more for me to do there. This is if I have another joystick to use for that or something, or another joystick-like connection. Input, that's the word I'm looking for. Thrust forward, thrust backwards. Digital input for controlling forward maneuvering. There's thrust for forward and back? But why wouldn't I just use this? Is thrusting forward and back different? I mean, obviously it's a set speed. I mean, I can't imagine needing that. I can just do this up a little bit. I guess maybe if you're using mouse and keyboard and you need just a little bit of movement forward and back, you would have that set up to something. I don't know. Let me know if there's a reason I should probably have that. Alternate flight controls. Alternate controls toggle, button mode toggle. I don't, toggles the inputs between the regular and alternate controls. I don't have anything set up with this. Is this for combat or something? Like you have an exploration mode and then a combat mode? I guess that kind of would make sense, but I don't have that set up. Flight throttle, we've got this set up there. Throttle, access range, full range, yeah. Forward only throttle, reverse. I used to have to use this because I had just a unilateral throttle. My old joystick was this tiny one that was just like this one. It had a little tiny throttle right here. Oh, those were the good old days. Increase throttle, decrease throttle. I don't use that. Get rid of that one. Is there a reason I should have increased throttle, decreased throttle? Is that something? Oh, by the way, I've also got voice attack. I forgot to mention that. If you see something and you're like, that's actually a nice thing to have on voice attack, you should probably add that to voice attack. Let me know. I don't see that being a thing. Throttle increments, continuous, 10%, 12. What? Oh, see what increments the desired speed is changed by when using increase throttle and decrease throttle inputs. Continuous will emulate an analog scale. Oh, so continuous is I press it and it moves until I stop pressing it. If I were to use this with voice attack for some reason, I don't know why I would necessarily. If I use this with voice attack for some reason, I would probably set this to something like 10%. So I'm just gonna put it at 10% for now. I do have full reverse set up on voice attack, though I've never used it. I have full stop on voice attack, though I've never used it. But just in case I ever want to, for immersion's sake, I could. Is 75% speed. This is one that I do use often when coming out of Super Cruise. And so I'm always and I have it at the number pad plus because that's an easy button for me to find even in VR. I suppose I could add that on here. And actually one thing I was thinking about is I've never delved into multiple button presses. And so I've often wondered what button on here should I, because I think how it works best is you have one button that's a mod. So like this thumb button down here or something. If that button isn't assigned to anything by itself, because the problem I've had with multiple keybind or multiple buttons for a keybind is that it tries, whichever button ends up being pressed first, it tries to do that. I had that issue. So I'm assuming what you should do is you should have a button that's like a shift key, or I call it a mod key, where I press and hold that. It doesn't do anything, but the game knows it's being pressed until I press the second key of the key binding. So my thought here is I use this button right here for, no, that's boost. This is super cruise. The little one back here is for super cruise. In theory, is it for super cruise? I think it is. Anyways, in theory, let's say it is. The muscle memory happens in game, but now that I'm trying to think about it, it's not coming out. In theory, that's my super cruise to go in super cruise, right? I'm going. But now I'm in super cruise. I would like pressing the mod and that button together to maybe set the speed to 75%. Because that's me preparing to exit super cruise. And then when I'm ready to officially exit super cruise, I press the super cruise button again. And it ends super cruise. It's like that to me mentally makes sense. Am I thinking about the multiple keys the right way? Like, is that the right way to do it? It makes sense to me anyways. And I know that's what a lot of this is going to be. I'm sure I'm going to hear from some of you saying you should do it how it's comfortable for you. And I totally agree with that, but I do want input. So let me know kind of how you have it set up. Even if you have a different joystick, let me know. And then set speed 100%. I have a max speed set up in voice attack as well. So that's the flight throttle. Now flight landing overrides. I have nothing here. This is analog input axis for controlling ship. Oh no, that's telling me this. I'm assuming this is when, I don't know, when does this kick in? Landing mode. If no binding is set, the default flight bindings are used. How do I turn on landing mode? Is that in here somewhere and I'm just not seeing it? Maybe it's somewhere else. Anyways, I don't know anything about this section. If it's something I need to worry about, let me know. Flight miscellaneous. Here we go. Toggle flight assist. Right now I have to spacebar. That's not a great place for it. It worked because it was easy to hit. Like I've got my throttle going right here. And like a lot of times I'd be going full speed and then I'd want to turn it off. So my finger's like right here ready to press it. So it worked. I would like it to be on here somewhere. Maybe even kind of like how I did with the Super Cruise, do a mod. This big one on the back. The little one was the Super Cruise. The big one is my boost. If I did mod boost to turn off flight assist, that kind of makes sense to me because I'm doing it to then boost and like turn around real quick, flip over. Here's engine boost. Yeah, Joy 9. Joy 9. Is that Joy 9? That is Joy 9. Yay. Toggle frame shift drive. There's Joy 10, which is this one down here. So good. I was right about that. Now, and I'm going to read this to remind myself. This will engage the FSD to either hyperspace jump to another system if it has been target locked, or super cruise if there is no target or a current system. Okay, yeah. So that does both. That's why I don't have super cruise set up. I have it set up with W because I can go out of super. I can go into super cruise manually with voice attack. Hyperspace jump as well, same thing. This E is here for voice attack. Rotational correction. Toggles rotational correction on or off used within rotating structures to aid navigation within them. Ahaha. Yeah. No, I want this. This needs to just not be an option because I've turned that off before and I went so dizzy. Toggle orbit lines. I never mess with those. Should I? I know some people have told me I should put them on. I don't really. When I have them on, it doesn't really teach me or tell me anything that I feel like I need to know. Targeting. Here's a fun one. So targeting. Select target ahead. I have to Joy 3. Yes. So I do indeed have target ahead as this pointer finger right here up at the top. So my trigger finger, but up top. My thought process for that was I am pointing the one I'm pushing the button that's pointing most forward, and I'm wanting to select the target ahead. So that's where my mind went there. Cycling through targets, I have for my left-right switches here, which I like, but it's a little noisy. But I kind of need it handy for being in combat. but I feel like this could be used for other things as well. Maybe with a mod, it could be used for something else. I don't know. Select highest threat. I have that set for voice attack, but nothing manual. Cycle next hostile target. Oh, I should set that up with at least voice attack. If not, maybe this could be the mod. This thing, whatever you call this, the left, right, the Joy U axis. That would make sense. Select wingman. I haven't really had a need to do that. Cycle next subsystem. This is something that may also work well for modding this. Because I'm often wanting to do that, and I have it set up in voice attack, but doing it in voice attack is so slow. I wish the developers would flesh out the subsystem thing. I would like to be able to set it up where I can tell voice attack, computer, target enemy engines. And then targeting enemy engines. I wish I could go to a specific one, not just cycle through them. But I digress. Maybe that's the thing for the mod. I feel like both of the cycle next hostile target and cycle next subsystem are important. Maybe I end up with two different mods. I feel like that's confusing. Maybe the cycle next hostile target would be on. I could move that to the mouse, to these thumb buttons, and I just, in theory, if I'm cycling to the next hostile target, I'm not in the heat of the moment, probably. And I could quickly reach down here and just click, find the one I want and go. Maybe that's what I do. I don't know. Targeting. Weapons, next. Primary fire is exactly where you expect Joy 1. Pew, pew, pew. Secondary fire, where you would expect Joy 2 up here. The thumb, the little orange and black stripes right there. Cycle next fire group is Joy 4, which is to the right of, your left. No, is that your left? That's your left. Anyways, this one here, this and Hisson is 4 next to 2. The reason I have that to next cycle next fire group is, to me, it's going to the right, so I'm going to the next, if that makes sense. Anyways, and it's close to the targeting, so it just makes sense to me. Or it's close to the fighting, attacking. Deploy hard points is Joy 11, which is one of these. I can't remember which one. I think it's this one, ST. These aren't labeled numbers. These have ST and SE. That's where deploy hard points is, which works fine. It's kind of out of the way. That could easily actually be something that's moved to the mouse, honestly. Maybe I'll do that. I may end up also turning off firing deploys hardpoints, because there's so many times that my finger gets heavy and I press one of these buttons and I accidentally open my hardpoints. Cooling, silent running, delete. I've never had to use that. Deploy heatsink V. I haven't used my heatsinks yet. I probably need to. They should probably be somewhere here. Maybe a mod press or something. I don't know. Maybe mod secondary fire. I don't know. I feel like that should be something easily accessible, though. Miscellaneous ship lights. That's something I just have for voice attack. No reason to hard code that one to the joystick somewhere. Sensor zoom. I never mess with this, but I feel like that's something I could do in voice attack. There's no reason not to, but I never even mess with it. Diverting power. Here is one that I have both in voice attack that I need to fine tune a little bit. I want to create like a setup for combat, a setup for travel, a setup for escape, stuff like that. But I also manually adjust these here. So you've got left, right, left, center, right, I think is what it is. Put it down. Yeah. Left, center, right. Doesn't really matter. It works for me. I think that makes sense there. I can easily, while flying and fighting, adjust those with my thumb. That just makes sense to me. There's 3 of them right there. It's easy to remember. Balance power distribution. I have that set up for voice attack. Reset HMD orientation. That's huge for whatchamacallit. VR. I reach up and press the left control. That one's fine. That one's not really important. Cargo scoop I have set up with voice attack just fine. I don't feel like I need a hard-coded button for that. Jettison all cargo as well. Voice attack. Landing gear, voice attack. Microphone mute. I have that on mouse 4. That doesn't really matter. But that could be on the mouse just as easily. Let's see. Microphone state, push to talk, yeah. Use shield cell. This is something I should probably use. I have these on some ships, but I never knew I had to use them. That feels like it would be a good mod button somewhere. Use chaff launcher. Again, like the deploy heat sinks, this is something I should have accessible. Maybe heat sinks is mod primary and or chaff is mod primary and heat sinks is mod secondary. The reason I'm thinking that is chaff launcher is probably a more pertinent issue, so I think primary. Also because this is orange, which denotes heat sink. Charge ECM. I haven't done anything with ECM. Enable context menu. Allow some buttons to open a menu of multiple sub-control bindings when held. Disabling this option could cause conflicts between existing bindings, which will need to be manually revised. Whoa, wait. Allow some buttons to open a menu of multiple sub-control bindings when held. Is this the mod thing? Is this what that is? Allow some buttons to open a menu. What buttons? Is that somewhere in here? We'll see. I'm gonna leave it off for now. But is that something where I press and hold a mod button and something appears on screen to tell me that these buttons now do this? Interesting. Weapon color? Toggles weapon color customization. I don't care about that. Oh, you can turn that stuff on and off? That's interesting. Night vision, I have that too. I have that through voice attack. Mode switches. UI focus, joystick 12, I believe that's this one. Oh, yeah. What I do is, when I want to look at one of the panels, I don't know why I'm using the joystick like that. When I want to look at one of the panels, not just look at them with the mouse, but actually like focus on them, what I do is I press and hold this button down here, and then I use my thumb to go left, right, up, down. That makes sense to me. Maybe there's something that works better. I don't know, but that makes sense to me. So anyway, so this is Joy 12, or this is Joy 12. One of these. I know when it's important. But so I press and hold one of those. So it kind of works as a mod. UI focus mode direction. Yeah, so that's all set up how I do the directions. The comms panels and target panel and stuff, those are all for voice attack. Auto focused on text input field. When this option is enabled, the comms panel will automatically select the text input field when switching to the chat log tab. Yeah, sure, I guess. Quick comms, I never really used that, but that's good to know. Looking at... Choose what happens when head look is used. Oh, when head look. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize I could turn these off. Comms panel shows the panel. I'm going to try that and just see how that works. Enable UI camera lock on. When this option is enabled, the camera will turn and lock to the UI panel. Yeah, I want that. Open galaxy map. That's for voice attack. System map, that's for voice attack. I don't do any CQC stuff yet. Head look mode, mouse 3. So here's where I can move around with my mouse. And what I do is I press and hold the wheel button and I can move around. That makes sense to me. Game menu, I just hit escape. I didn't even know there was another button for that. That's funny. Friends menu, I probably need that. I have lots of friends. I do. I'm not lonely. Switch HUD mode, right shift. This is to go between combat and what is it? Switch between analysis and combat cockpit modes. I chose right shift because that's another easy one to feel, and there's not like a rush to I'm never in a rush to change that really. Well, I guess I could be if I'm in combat. That feels like something that could easily go over to the mouse. I'm trying to move stuff off of the keyboard and down here. I'm also tempted to, there's a cool little number pad, USB number pad that you can buy. Oh, I just realized I've been doing all of this and you guys haven't been able to see all of it. I meant to talk about stuff that was up here at the top, so it wasn't being covered by the joystick. Oh, well, you can see everything that's on the left that I'm talking about. I haven't been doing this right this whole time. But that's okay. But there's a little number pad that I found on Amazon. It's like $30. It's expensive for a USB number pad, but it has these removable clear caps. And I would want to buy that and then print up little symbols to put on this number pad for different things, like landing gear and other things. And so I have a little number pad over here. I can completely ignore the keyboard up here in that case. I thought that'd be cool. So that is mode switches. Interface mode. UI panel up, down, left, right. That is, that's for when I'm pressing this button and I go up, down, left, right with my thumb over here. UI panel select. Okay, this is select and back. Primary, secondary, fire. That seems like a no-brainer. I think that's how it defaults. Nested toggle. Input for interacting with the main game menus. What the heck is that? I have no idea. Next panel and previous panel, I've got set up for these left-right triggers over here on the throttle. Next page, previous page. I haven't figured out what that's for either. While in full screen in a full screen interface, this will select the next page. I'm assuming they're talking about like what I can click on. I'm assuming this isn't necessary because I think I can just click. Almost done. Head look mode. I don't think there's anything here to really change. No, I don't think so. Because my mouse head look is fine. Galaxy map. I don't think there's anything to change here. That's all with the mouse. I don't need that. Well, I do use WASD to like move around it and stuff, but that's it. So I guess I could change some of this to like this thumb, but my problem is I move my hand down here and I'd have to move this hand over here. That would be weird. I'm fine with that the way it is. Driving assist to Joy 10, wherever that is again. I think it's down here. I had to assign that because I found out that when you're driving, you want to turn drive assist off. It's way better. Thank you guys for that. Steering, what you would expect. Whoa, what happened? Oh, and that external hard drive like disconnected. There was a problem. Hold on, let me just unplug it. Nope, go away. I'm gonna unplug it. Everything here is pretty fine. Vertical thrusters. It has vertical thrusters? I didn't know that. What's 5? This one. Okay. I didn't know it had vertical thrusters. Primary fire, secondary fire, headlights. I don't have that set up. I'll have to set that up to something for voice attack. Although I can also just do that from the game menu, can't I? I think I can. Toggle SRV turret, joystick 11. I don't know. I haven't used a lot of those yet because I haven't done a whole lot in the SRV except for driving around. Driving targeting, select target ahead, Joy 2, which is actually not what it probably should set to. I should probably set that to the one that it normally is for flying, right? Yeah, Joy 3. Driving turret controls. I haven't messed with the turret any. I have no idea. I haven't been there, so I'm not going to bother with it. Drive throttle is exactly what you would expect. Nothing major to look at there. Multi-crew. I haven't really set up much for this yet. Because I just send them out and let them do their own. Oh no, this is multi-crew. Sorry. I haven't done anything with multi-crew yet, so I'm not going to bother looking at that. Fighter orders. I've never had to tell them to do anything else. One day I will probably set this up in voice attack. That's what that would be for. I would like to do that in voice attack. Camera suite. No, I'm fine with everything that's there. That's all fine and good. We're nearing the end. Free camera. I'm fine with that too. That's part of the camera suite. Hollow Me. I don't need to worry about playlist. I don't need to worry about full spectrum system scanner. I need to go. I haven't set up anything with this stuff yet with that or the detailed surface scanner. I need to go watch. I know Obsidian Ant has a video on this stuff. I need to go watch and see how this stuff works. But if you have any advice on how this should be set up, just let me know. I haven't set up any of it, so I'm not even going to go through it. So I think that's it. I think that's pretty good. So if you have any suggestions, I'm going to zoom in here real quick just so you can maybe get a better, fuller look at the setup. If you have any suggestions or questions, please let me know in the comments. I would appreciate any help I can get. I think that's about it. Thank you so much, Commanders. I love this community, and I think some of you are really going to dig this episode simply because you're like me, and you love to get this stuff just right, and you also love to help other people get it just right. So yeah, We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Adios. Goodbye.